Alright guys, this is my favorite EA, but yet it blew an account on this particular back test. So why would I consider this to be my favorite EA? Let's take a look at this. I back test this from the beginning of the year, which is January 2023. And it blew my account before it got out of the first month. Let's take a look at this. Why is this my favorite? One second. Let's look at results. In the results, it took its first trade January 4th at 9:15. There we go. Started performing relatively well. See, up over 10% here. But by the time it was January 25th, it had blown my account, only had $121 left. Why am I calling this my favorite EA, my favorite robot? Let's look at this. Let me show you guys. I think that what we do, we expect every EA, every robot, every automated system to be a holy grail, and they're just not. It depends on the settings. And most people, they don't give it enough time to tweak it. They'll just put their $10,000, their $1,000 into a robot based on someone else's back testing. But there's not a robot out there that performs equally well in all market conditions. And then anything can happen in the market, man. I say it can be going along, trucking along quite well. One news item comes out, the robot doesn't catch that news item, or something that's catastrophic. So these were the vendors, the person who programmed. This is their base, I guess you would say, or their default. That's what they call it. Their default settings in here. Here we go, starting with. What do we start with? $1,000. Here are the input values for the goal, and from 6 o'clock to 2100. So therefore, this thing is trading in the U.S. market. I don't like trading gold in the U.S. market, but we'll see why. And again, folks, this was the result. The report really doesn't make a difference because it's a 91% drawdown. So let's make a couple of tweaks and see what happens. Now, I'm going to make one simple tweak, and this broker, because a broker can matter as well because they have different spreads and things of that nature. But let me make this one little tweak. I'm not going to trade the U.S. session. So we're going to turn this thing off at 7 o'clock. This 1500 is 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's my time that I'm in. Everything else I'm leaving the same, but I'm going to make that one tweak, and let's see if that makes the difference. The vendor didn't talk about this tweak. The programmer didn't talk about this tweak. This was me going into this thing and some of my team members, and we just started back testing everything. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. And let's go ahead and hit start. And I'm not going to make you just sit through this whole thing, so we'll see what it looks like afterwards. Okay, starting off pretty good, and I'll be back right when this back test ends. Okay, it's not finished yet, but I just want you to see this equity curve. It looks a lot different than the one that we started off with. You've got to admit that. So it should be winding down. Let's see where it is in results. Are we in June yet? Nope, we're in May. So, well, March, I'm sorry. See, 317. So it's still running. We're at $2,300. So that one small tweak really shows you that you just can't throw away a robot based on the vendor's settings. I'm going to pause again. Be back. Okay guys, let's see what took place with this one change. The only thing we did was avoid opening new trades in the US session. And again, this is January 1st to June 30th. And we're starting a whole new test in July, so hopefully you'll join us for that. So let's look at the graph. Nice. Look at that equity curve. Man, from $1,000 to $6,300. Almost $6,400 in 6 months. Not bad. Now remember, this is only a back test, so I don't get too excited about it. But that's a far cry from it not making it out of the first month. And let's look at some of the results here. No, what's even more important, let's look at the report, because now this matters. What is the maximum drawdown? The absolute drawdown, that means from the $1,000 from our beginning balance, it actually drew down 564. So that's over 50% that we had to watch our balance go from 1,000 to less than 500. Maximum drawdown is $2,300. That's 43%. So somewhere in making this $6,000 or $5,000, we had to watch our account go down $2,300. And relative drawdown 63%. So guys, I'm not saying that it would have been an easy trip, because we do things a little bit differently. Let's look at how it went with our real money test, and also our forward testing as well. Okay, guys. Now we started this particular test with $1,000 in I think it was it was April 16th. April 16th, 2023, we're up 50% there. Now, why are we getting the results that are less than the possible results than the strategy tester? Simply, we are getting much more conservative because we don't want those big drawdowns. Remember, some of those drawdowns were more than 50% and 60%. So not only do we exclude the U.S. session, but we also exclude any of the red news items. So we turn this damn thing off, man. So, but this is a great return. This is in what, 3-4 months? It's 50% up. We'll take it all day long. Same thing with our small $100 accounts. See, this one is up over 56%, and this is $100. So that's cool. What else do we have here? Let me show you my FX. So yeah, we test like crazy. Now this is tied to, I should have these links. So we were testing on demo accounts, so we have to forward test everything, and then what we do with our live accounts is up to us. But we're getting similar results on our live accounts that are trading on the same broker. Remember, this is not a high frequency scalp, so there's not much difference in the demo data than there is the live data. So let's look at, this is our trade copy. We trade copy out of this is up 56%, and we also had a Trader's Way account that was $1,000, and this was this thing really went crazy. I think this started in November, and we just now ceased that one, and we have the FX choice for 100,000. We were trying to make this work in a prop firm with a prop firm, and it just didn't because we had the drawdowns. Let's look at this one. Absolute gain of 3%. We started this in November, but look at our drawdowns. It's like 31%, which isn't bad in Forex, but there's no way that we can pass a prop firm challenge on that particular one. Okay, so let's look at this. So look at this, man. January was a big month, 33%, 25%, and then it started narrowing off, excuse me, going into spring and summer. Okay, let's look at one more. I thought it would show us, but it did not. So let's go back. And let's go to the other test, the open key test. This one was a good one. And this one started in October. So it hasn't been a year yet. Now this shows some realistic stuff in our testing, and we weren't turning these off during news periods, as you can tell. So we just let it ride. So even in letting it ride, it's 600 and some odd percent up, and it was up to 1,000% up before we had this big drop. Okay, and we can always go back and research and see what happened, and then we try to avoid that on the next go round. So it could be anything from the banking crisis, but guys, still, even through these news cycles, this thing was performing great. All right, and one more time, I'm going to say, through this testing, we weren't really that concerned with the news cycle. Most of this actually traded through the news. So guys, don't give up quick unless you've already tested everything, and don't put any money, not advice, but don't put any money, real money, into any EA without you testing it thoroughly. Jay out, guys. Go out there and make some real money.